Good morning, guys. Good afternoon. I'm sorry. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Mad Matt here with another raw rant in the Philippine province. Uh, I did a. First of all, I just want to say thank you for all the support. I'm looking back because I've never been here before. I'm at a local Cold Spring. Thank you for the support. Thank you for everybody paying attention. Thank you for all the comments, likes, subs, so on and so forth. We did a live this morning, and a couple people taught me that I should be doing something called Kick. So I opened up a Kick account, and I'm going to start streaming multiple places at the same time now, see what happens, and then eventually gear off of YouTube entirely. But I don't know if any other Generation X's are going through what I go through, and I'm going to try not to make this too, what's the word, when everybody says I get crazy or I get too carried away, I get too hyper, I'm going to give myself a heart attack. There's no heart attacks happening here, guys. No heart attacks. I did something a lot of people failed to do when they were younger is, see, I tried to make this so it doesn't dim out. I started at a very young age making my heart very strong and healthy and my body strong and healthy, and then yes, as I got older, I became lazy and this and that. And I'm not saying there's a right, wrong, or other way, but that's the way I did it. And a lot of people just were lazy their whole lives and started getting healthier when they stopped working or got older. I don't know what's right or wrong, and I don't care. I'm not here to judge you guys. I'm here to talk about the obstacles that we all kind of seem to face as a Generation X crowd, regardless of whether in the Philippines or not. It just happens to be where I'm at. I've been my own worst enemy my entire life. I don't know if you guys do it, but it says, I don't know if it's my generation or my upbringing, but I don't need people to beat me up. I don't need people to judge me. I do it to myself. I don't need it. Let me see. Yeah, see, if I move, it moves. When I move, you move just like that. And I'm going to mention a bunch of different ideas I have for different videos moving forward. But sorry to keep doing that. You guys can teach me how to fix that, but it seems like every 30 seconds my camera dims out. So when I read books like The Obstacle is the Way or I Am the Mountain, I've already known that. I used to always think the obstacle was me, and it is. I was my own worst enemy. My father told me it as a kid, and I used to think, well, duh, you're the one that taught me to be like that. You know what I mean? I don't need people to punish me. I punish myself on a day-to-day basis. In fact, I'm going to tell you how weird it is, but, I was raised in an Irish Catholic Generation X family. I can't beat myself any more than I already have. There is no more beating myself. I've beat myself. I used to take blame for things that weren't even my fault in marriages and relationships and business, because that's what we are. That's what we do. At least the people I know. And the people that built healthy boundaries were able to get away from that. But I never was taught those healthy boundaries until recently. I'm 54. I'm going to be 55 in a few months. I think I just started learning them, and I sure as hell didn't start applying them until very recent. So, you guys say, oh, he's mean, he's this. No, I'm not. I just firmly have learned what I will and will not accept. I can tell you my last marriage, and this is, again, I'm ranting, but my last marriage, I did everything for her. I saw the red flags before I ever met her, literally before I ever met her. And I still kept forcing myself to force the relationship. And it was a mistake until it was a big mistake. Thank God we didn't bring children into the world. And that was the reason we got divorced, is she wanted children. And, I've already been cut and snipped. And that was one thing I was not negotiating. It was not an option. And I'm not going to get into the who's and whys and what's about all that. It's just not something I want. It's nothing I want. I like kids, but I don't want to raise one. I sure as hell don't want the responsibility of one. But these are the questions I keep asking. It's very beautiful here. I'll take you around in a little bit, but I wonder, how did I become this person, and why have I allowed it to go on so long? Am I not intelligent? I feel like I am. I feel like I'm more intelligent than most people I'm friends with. That doesn't mean anything. I could be just hanging around with dummies. Am I slow? No. I just feel like that was my way, of treating myself. Like, that's what I was used to. That was my comfort zone. That's, everybody talks about that comfort thing, right? So I don't know what I'm getting at with all this. I really don't. I don't know what the point of this video is. I almost feel like just pushing the red button and being done with it. It's a slow one. It's almost like I was trained to fuck myself. Literally to, Matt, you're going to have a bad relationship, so screw it up before it gets bad. You're going to screw up this job or this work or this project, so screw it up before you even get to it. You know what I mean? We were even talking about the prodigal something. I took my inheritance before my father was even passed away or even thought about passing away, right? These are all things that are legitimate concerns in my life. I don't know what everybody else goes through in their life, but this is my life. This is my life. So, I'm here in the Philippines, and I guess what I'm getting at is I have recently started feeling good things and feeling good about myself. And now I'm questioning, what did I do? Why is it good? Is something wrong? I'm waiting for the bomb to drop. You guys all think, oh, he had this bad experience in the Philippines, bad experience with money in province. Maybe I did. But this is the first time in my life I can feel things and sense things and smell things and be open to love and be open to the sensories that are going through me. I'm telling you, I can promise you, as much as I'm sitting here, any other point in my life, as I'm looking at this camera, I would have never seen all that shit that's behind me. I would have never noticed it. Right now I see all the colors and the sounds, and I hear the birds, and I keep saying this because it's true. And it's overwhelming. It's confusing. And I'm at peace. Whether you see it or not, I look younger every fucking day. That's not just from quitting smoking. I don't know what that is. It's like weights are being lifted off my shoulders. And things are opening up to me. Not just opportunities, but shit, even YouTube. This was not a dream come true, but it's a healthy outlet for me. I would have never expected it. Strong sense of flowers right now. I can't explain it. All I can say to you is, as what I just mentioned with the obstacles and the mountains and the experience and the Generation Xers and Catholic, I'm just sitting here wondering, when is something going to punch me in my face? And I've been taught these few things by other guys that I ventured into this whole, new path of life with. The one guy said, damn, dude, if you could, it smells like roses, but there's no roses here. Yeah, I used to always tell him, like, dude, I feel like I'm always getting fucking punched in the face every time I do that. He's like, well, then why do you keep doing it? He goes, if you walked into a house and there was 3 doors and, one was blue, one was green, one was yellow, and the green one, every time you open it, you got punched in the face. You just stop opening the green door, right? And he makes it seem so easy, and it is. So, that's the way I look at it. I told you about the 2 guys looking out a jail cell window. The one sees the muddy dirt and the shit all over the place, and the other one sees the free sky and the birds and the sun, and I used to be all the negative things, and suddenly I'm not actively trying. It's just happening. It's like the doors are opening to me. He also used to tell me, because I liked hiking. He goes, at any given moment when you feel like you're completely lost, and this is true. This has happened to me, and anybody that's been hiking knows it, unless you have the watch. But in some places they are ineffective. I used to go hiking at French Creek National Park in Pennsylvania. Reading, Pennsylvania, if anybody knows of it. Beautiful, beautiful. I lived 5 minutes away from there. It's true. Have you ever had a destination when you go hiking and you're like, damn, dude, the map says I should have been there like before, and I expected to be there 10 minutes ago, and you keep going, and you finally just say, fuck it, I'm going to turn around. And suddenly you see people walking out, and you're like, oh, they were there. We must be there. Or you're walking along the path, and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm lost. I'm completely lost. And you get nervous. You start worrying because the sun's going down. It's getting dark. You don't know what to do. You're not prepared for an overnight on this hike. And suddenly you hear traffic, and you realize, oh, the street's right there. Right now I'm in the woods, and it's so dense and thick, and I can't see anything, but right there is the street. That's my life. That's my life. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but that's the point of my video today. Have you? I'd like to hear some comments. I know you're going to slam some shit at me, and I'm used to it. I don't care. There's nothing you're going to throw at me that I haven't thrown at myself. There's no fist that you're going to hit me with that's not bigger or stronger than that one right there. So have your best shot, do your best damage, but that's not the point of my channel. It's to open up a segment of guys and girls that are familiar with what I'm talking about, and it seems like we all can relate in this age group. In fact, I used to think all my shit was going to be for Philippine segments, but it turns out most of my subs are from the U.S. right now. But the things I see and how I interpret the world around me right now, completely different than before. And I know you guys think, oh, he's so negative. Actually, this is me being positive. If you want to see negative, I'm going to tell you some trips and stories that I've experienced in the last few years, and even up to just a couple months ago. If I would have seen myself as a third person, I would have had me committed, or I would have shot me. And that's a true story. Until I feel safe and comfortable where I'm at and away from certain people, I won't bring up these stories. But they're there. They're going to be shared, and it's scary. My behavior was absolutely 148% scary as hell. Very scary, very unhealthy, borderline psychotic. And I was on the brink of, somebody talked about somebody else the other day killing themselves, and then there was somebody else that had a heart attack. I was in that group of people, like, not because of online shit, just because of where I was in life. I just, it was a bad place. And not, you guys make it about money. It's not about money. It's about losing your mind. Like, literally, you're losing yourself. You're losing touch with who you are and what you want to be and what you want it to be or what you thought you would be. But these things I've done, I have fucked myself with everything. I never knew when to shut up. I never knew when to speak up. In fact, I used to do both of them at the wrong time. Sometimes I would talk too much when I shouldn't, and other times I didn't stand up for myself when I should have. Same with losses. Sometimes I didn't know when to cut my losses. Maybe some people don't understand it, but there comes a point where, for me, some people have mentioned the farm, and yeah, I mean, that's the most recent one. But relationships. How many times I can look back at a relationship and know I wanted to be out of it for years, and finally they give me the get out of jail free card, and then I'm clinging. And it's like, what the hell just happened? Now I'm clinging to something I openly did not want and knew I did not want. This is the point of all my shit, man. And I don't know. I don't think I'm alone. I'm pretty positive I'm not. People say emotional intelligence. Dude, if you don't think I have emotional intelligence just because I rant, you don't know me very well. I'm a deep thinker, sometimes a little too deep, a little too much, a little extra than needed. Just because I don't have an elaborate vocabulary doesn't mean I'm not intelligent. But you guys tell me, did anybody else experiencing this shit? We're 54, and I have a lot of the things a lot of people desire. I have freedom. I'm not married. I don't have children to bother me. I don't have grandchildren to bother me. I don't have any of that shit. I'm in a foreign country with, let's be honest, you can get laid at a blink of an eye doing almost nothing. No hard work required. It's a cheap way to live. Tropical climate, beaches and water and all that fun stuff. And here I am finding reasons to be unhappy. I'm literally looking for reasons to be unhappy. What can make me unhappy? Why am I happy? Like, I question almost on a daily basis. Every morning I wake up, and one of the first things I do is write my gratitude journal. And recently my gratitude shit's getting longer and longer and more detailed. What's about to happen? Am I going to die? Is something wrong with me? Why am I seeing this? Am I dead already? I'm telling you, it's very confusing. And this has nothing to do with the Philippines. Maybe it does, but this video is not about the Philippines. It's about, trying to find other people that maybe have experienced this or understand what I'm talking about. I just find myself in a different place, in a different part of my life, experience different things in my life that I've never experienced, and I'm just wondering what's wrong. Why is it so good? When everything should be so bad. From the outside, people would think, oh, this guy's got it really rough, you know what I mean? He's alone in the province, he lost all that money on the farm, blah, 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 blah. You guys mentioned the housing situation, that's not relevant to me. But again, from the outside, you would see that, just a month ago, smoking my face off, like 3 packs of cigarettes a day, and coughing all day, and gray hairs all over my face. And here I am, just weeks later, and I feel like it's like God came down and reinvented my body, my mind, and the way I think and feel and see things. And that may sound crazy to some. Some people might understand exactly what I'm saying. I'm reading books I read 10, 15, 5 years ago, and they mean entirely different things to me. It's like I'm reading a whole different book. And now I'm thinking, do I start reading all the books I ever read in my life all over again? Do I start watching things I watched before just to see if I interpret it differently? And maybe. But even when I look at women, it's different than it used to be. I'm not saying I don't look at them the way all of us look at them, but not nearly the same way. And I find myself yearning for connectedness, if that's such a thing, if you guys really know what I'm talking about, a connection with people, with the world, with the environment. And I'm realizing it's right here. It's right now. It's happening here. I don't need to look for it. It's here. With the world, with the surroundings, with the animals, with the nature, with this country I'm in. I have it. It's here. The people that are coming in and out of my life, the people I've met on YouTube, a lot of them, it's amazing to me that God's sending them to me. Somebody's sending them to me. It's happening for a reason. There's a reason why I even did YouTube. I told you before, I don't like looking at my ugly mug. I don't like any of it. I mean, you guys can mention it, my gray hair, or this or that, or teeth. You can say it. Oh, I already know it. So it doesn't matter. All I'm saying is I already know that, and it was a big step for me to pull the trigger and say, fuck it, I'm going to do the YouTube. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, man. 16 minutes in. Still waiting for my monetization approval now. Everything else, we'll start doing Kick. We'll keep doing lives. I enjoy the lives when I do the videos. I understand the videos are for AdSense, but it's neither here nor there for me. Irrelevant. Anybody that's liked, subscribed, made comments, my thing's like on a delay right now. Anyway, anybody that's done that, thank you so much. Anybody that's just sent the coffees, thank you so much. Anybody that's interacted. The trolls that have started attacking my email, thank you so much. You ruined it for all the other guys, but that's what your intent was. Mission accomplished. I'll take you for a walk around here. I can't change the camera. Actually, this is a different kind of camera, so maybe. No, I don't think so. Cold Spring. There's a restaurant. They have all these outdoor tables and people do karaoke. I don't know if you see it. There's some cabins up there. Kiddie pools. Slides. Way over yonder, there's a giant restaurant upstairs. All made out of bamboo. It's really cool. But anyway, have a nice day. Don't have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. And please subscribe. Come on. Don't be so lazy. Bye.